You could be larger than life.
Hello and welcome to Live Life Driven podcast. This is actually a new show that I'm adding on to our The Answer is Yes show. You know, I've been talking about doing this for over a year now, and I actually went as far as recording something a year ago, and I just never put it out. I wasn't comfortable with it, and it went completely against everything that I've ever said about just getting out there and starting something and doing it. You know, because like I said, I've wanted to do this for a year now. The purpose of this show, the Live Life Driven segment, is just about things that I've learned during the week and me bringing some value of those items that I've learned to you almost immediately. So you can plan on anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes of the Live Life Driven segment, and we'll talk about one, maybe two topics. So maybe it's conversations I've had with business leaders during the week, and or just thoughts that I've had. Maybe I picked up out of a great new book or something along the way. So I hope you find value in this. Again, this is going to be anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes a segment. And this week, you know, I really wanted to talk about opportunity as well as being optimistic. You know, and if you really think about opportunity, and I've been one of those people my entire life, I've seen opportunities and looked at ways that I could take advantage of them for personal gain or to help somebody else or just not allow them to pass me by. And, you know, opportunities are a combination of different circumstances at a given time that offer a positive outcome if taken advantage of. I know that word taking advantage has a negative connotation to it, but, you know, the way I look at it is if somebody's not going to do something and the opportunity is right in front of you, why not? Why not take advantage of that opportunity and turn it into something? And I think that that comes from my business background and my desire to find things around me and always improve myself. And I've always had this, sense of optimism, and my glass has always been half full. And that came from a really young age, you know, just in my own challenges in life as a kid and looking to strive to be better. And I think if we can be optimistic about the outcomes and always look for the opportunities and things, we will live much happier lives and we will find ourselves to be fulfilled. Oftentimes not having a glass half empty, but always having that glass half full, we look at challenges in a different way. And I recall a story. It was an off-road race. I was racing the Nora Vintage 1000, and that's a race that goes from Ensenada all the way down to Cabo. It's a 5-day race. Sometimes, I think in the past it was 4. At any rate, you race a day and you come to the finish line and you reset your vehicle and get ready for the next day and you race again. Well, on this particular occasion, I had the editor from Hot Rod Magazine with me. Her name was Alana Scher. We were on day 2. She was going to ride in the race car with me for that section. It was a good 400 miles or so that day through some really tough terrain. And we head out from Bay of LA, which is on the eastern side of the Baja Peninsula. And we really were off and running pretty hard. Of course, I'm sure I wanted to show off how great my vehicle was and get the best article in Hot Rod Magazine. And we happened to have some overheating issues about 3 hours into the day, literally in the middle of nowhere, and we couldn't get rid of them. And, you know, smoke here and there, and I wasn't feeling good about what was happening. And we wound up pulling over, and we're just leaking oil everywhere. And Alana, she knows a lot about motors, and she suggests, well, I think this motor might be shot. And that was not the time for me to be overly optimistic because the motor was literally shot. Talking about opportunity, there happened to be the most random couple in the middle of nowhere in a Subaru. I think they were traveling from Canada. They pulled over and asked if we needed help, which if you've traveled through Baja, you know you can be in some of the most remote areas and still run into people. And, of course, my ego got the best of me. I said, no, we're good. And he took the opportunity to drive maybe 100 yards away, set up shop, pulled out a beautiful camera, and took some photographs of us, with the hood up, trying to figure out what our motor issues were. And we tinkered and we added oil and realized Ilana was right. We had blown our motor. And I waved the guy down that didn't go very far with this camera. I said, hey, by the way, maybe we do need some help. And he attached a tow strap to our 57 vintage race car and drug us an hour out of the desert. And let me tell you, This man thought he was the race and the race car because he pulled us out of there so fast with his Subaru. Thank God my brakes worked. Anyways, talking about opportunity and being optimistic, Alana thought, wow, the race is over, day 2. I'm not sure I got the story I need. But I said, look, it's not over till it's over. And I had radioed ahead to the team, let them know what was happening. And by the time we got to the main highway, after being drug out of the middle of nowhere, the team had already found somebody in the next town, which happened to be about 6 hours down the highway in the town of Laredo. Somebody had a motor for sale that we could potentially put in our vehicle. So we got into town about midnight. That motor actually didn't shake out. The next morning, we weren't really sure what we were going to do at 5 a.m. And the security guard from the hotel lobby walked up to us, and he says, hey, I overheard you last night. You guys need a motor. My cousin has a 1987 Chevy Silverado that he'd love to sell you, and it has the motor you need for your 1957 Chevy. And I thought, great, let's buy it. We don't need a whole truck. We just need the motor, but we'll take what you got. And we bought that 1987 Chevy pickup truck, and we put that motor in our race car, and we spent the whole day doing it. But lo and behold, we were back racing for day 4 and 5, and we still had a successful finish to the Baja Nora 1000. And, you know, I think it was our optimism that we could get back in the race, we could do what we were doing, and, you know, the team prevailed over all that. And I want to encourage everybody to find their glass to be half full and find opportunities within challenges. And, you know, of course, that was a fun story and a fun challenge, and we were happy to have done it. It garnered us 7 pages in Hot Rod magazine of coverage telling the story of how we bought this truck and all of our trials and tribulations in between. But, you know, let's look at things as opportunity. And as we are in the middle of this coronavirus, finding the opportunities where we can help other people, help our families, be better, maybe an opportunity to educate ourselves, read some books, listen to some podcasts, or just reach out to people that are less fortunate during these times. I know the restaurant industry's been hit pretty hard. A lot of closed doors, bars, restaurants, etc. The shelves have been emptied at the grocery stores, but yet those workers still have to show up. So let's find the opportunity on all this. Some people are, you know, they're really hard on the media for what's being portrayed here, and I understand that, but we also have to be sympathetic to the people that are also suffering. So again, let's focus on what we want during this period, not what we don't want. There's ways that we can take advantage of this for business and for our own personal gain and wealth, and that is focusing on what we want. Become indifferent to what we may see as good or bad, and realize that there might be good in everything, and we can steer clear of the bad and really focus our efforts towards the positivity that can come out of this. You know, when you look at business, we want to keep sales coming. I mean, I spent the day yesterday on Amazon buying stuff, things that I needed for the house. The gym here in town is closed, and it's a big part of my life, so I became a consumer on Amazon and bought some gym equipment for the house, and I'm sure that they were happy to get the sale during tough times. So let's keep the sales coming. So if you've got a good or service, don't be afraid to push it out there and offer what you can do in this new environment and focus on what the client's needs are and what they're saying. You know, the economy works by people making transactions, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, is making some transactions and sending out messages of ways that you can help and serve customers. You know, you've got customers in your business. Whether you work for somebody else or you work for yourself, there's always a way to make a positive impact, and this is a good time to be grateful for those customers and what they've done for you, and vice versa. So, and by the way, if you do run a business, right now is a great time to continue to push your marketing. Big companies are suffering and may have pulled out of advertising, so therefore the rates go down, whether that's social media rates, big ads, publications, and the like. You might be able to find some incredible opportunities on ad rates and continue to push your business. So when we flush out of this thing, you've gained a little bit more exposure through the crisis, and as other companies are pulling back, you can keep pushing. And as a result, become more successful as we push out. Don't forget, LinkedIn is an incredible tool to use, from an advertising, networking perspective, and all things alike. You know, a lot of connectivity there. So, and it's also a good time to just refocus your energy, study, learn, find out ways that you can make money, or refocus your business, educate yourself. and all those other things. So again, the message for today was opportunities are abundant. Find the opportunities. Be optimistic about our environment and what's happening. And just in general, as we come out of this coronavirus and the scare and the lockdowns, be optimistic about your own life and what you can do with things. There is a world of opportunity out there. I'm living proof. Please listen to our The Answer is Yes program and hear everybody's stories on ways that they've been optimistic about their own lives and the challenges and becoming entrepreneurs and or successful business people. I'm sure there's a ton to learn. So thanks for listening in to the first Live Life Driven segment of the podcast. Thank you very much. I would encourage your feedback. I'd like to know what you think. And we're sitting right about that 10-minute mark. Have a great day.
Yeah, and times are changing everywhere. Do we dream and do we dare? It's up to you. The door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today. Learn the part and join the play. The world is here. Let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than